Well, they have 50 different charts.
Urban.
I looking under Urban?
Yeah, there's the back page probably has them all listed, all the charts.
Shaggy's, this is from April 6th. Shaggy still has the #1 CHR pop hit.
Great.
Urban, Maxwell. I don't see two-pack. Well, Snoop Dogg? No. Where's two-pack?
What's the deal?
Huh. I don't see it anywhere.
How's that possible?
I need somebody to go through this. I don't have time to do this.
All right.
Too much to do.
Where's Joey?
Well, we just... Destiny's Child. God, do they suck. Well, they're cute, but they just are awful. The Simons in the Morning Business Report is brought to you by the New York Stock Exchange today. Oxford Health Plan's chairman and CEO, Dr. Norman Payson. He'll be down there ringing the opening bell to celebrate the company's New York Stock Exchange listing. Oxford, a leading managed care organization, will join the exchange as it transfers from NASDAQ and will trade under ticker symbol OHP. The Dow Jones Industrial Average finished up 57 points yesterday. NASDAQ up 13. Some analysts suggest maybe that the worst could be over, but I don't know.
Futures were way up today, man.
Cisco stock drops only slightly after it announced Monday a 30% sales slump.
Woo.
And plans to cut 8,500 workers.
Yep.
God. The market appeared to ignore the warning, these dire warnings for Cisco, and some people interpreted that as an indication that perhaps NASDAQ has, as do all alcoholics at some point or another, reached bottom. So now everybody will be looking at Intel today to see if Intel shares hold up. Maybe another sign of that it's. What's the deal, Rob?
Tupac's album is #2 this week.
It is?
On the Billboard charts. It was 1 last week.
Oh, it was. Is that
until the end of time?
Okay.
Shaggy's #4. Big Punisher is #7.
Big Punisher's dead too, isn't he?
Well, if he knows what's good for him.
Well, no, I mean, he is dead, isn't he?
Big Pun?
Is that the guy, Big Pun, isn't that 400-pound guy's dead?
Well, I know Biggie Smalls is dead.
What?
I know Biggie Smalls is dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, Big Pun is dead.
He's out the house, too.
He's done.
Yes, he is.
A couple of fat boys.
R.I.P. Big Pun.
Yep.
What are you sniffing your nose for?
I'm just sad.
Sad about what?
About Big Pun, I didn't know.
Well, yes, of course you did. Of course you knew. You told me. Me didn't know.
Not bad enough Suge Knight spent the past 5 years in jail. He finally gets out. He discovers his biggest advocate is some old white guy in a cowboy hat.
He's going back into jail.
You might think you're Colonel Tom Parker, though, so maybe.
I was under contract to Dootsy Williams at Duto Records back in the 60s. So, I mean, I understand what the record business is all about. I dealt with Joe Johnson at Challenge Records and the guys at RV. I know what the deal is.
Oh, yeah, I remember those guys.
No, but I mean,
You've been through the record wars.
people in the record business know who I'm talking about.
That's right.
I actually signed a contract with Dootsy Williams.
Oh.
Who the hell is Dootsy?
Remember
Dootsy,
well, I don't even remember Dutone Records. Remember the Penguins and Earth Angel?
Sure.
All the Red Fox records and all that stuff?
Yep.
I was Dootsy Williams.
Come on.
So,
But Delbert McClinton, Dixie Chicks, Tupac. I mean, one of these things is not like the other. How do you go from victim of life circumstances to thugging you, thugging me?
No. I didn't say I was a big fan of Tupac's records. I mean, I'm just saying, I know what's going on with Suge Knight. I mean, it's clear what happened with him. The white structure was out to get him, and they got him. He punched some jerk from the Crips in a casino in Las Vegas, and they put him back in jail. I mean, that's outrageous. If he punched you or me, or Trump or Steve Wynn or somebody, then I can see, or some tourist from Kansas, that's different. But some Crips creep shot his mouth off to Suge, and Suge punched him in the face. What would you do?
Are you guys registered anywhere?
No. But then you can't put Suge in jail for that. I mean, that's crazy.
Free Suge!
And I think that you are going to have to deal with Suge based on these lyrics that you, Rob Bartlett, wrote for this latest outrage on this program.
That's Snoop. That's not me.
I mean, I just don't think you can say.
That's not me. Snoop.
That was Snoop. That's Snoop's position.
Yeah. I had your mama out on a stroll.
Whoa,
what does that mean?
I told Charles I thought it was strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, time to bring your ass to the table, y'all. Bringing it live, East Coast, West Coast. Throwing it up ghetto style. While these other rappers just frontin', cause they ain't nothing but Richard Simmons in a Kango. From the S to the double O-P, double D. Snoop Dogg in the house on the J-O-B. 8 million stories in the big city, but no pity for Puff Diddy, that brother is splitty. Jay-Z caught with a pea shooter. Puffy get arrested on a faggot-ass scooter. Slim Shady think he living large, but when they gotta step up, plead to a lesser charge. Death row out on parole. Well, for the past 5 years, I had his mama on the stroll. The bitch know I ain't faking jacks. Got her $20 a night, ain't bad for a hunchback. Treat them other rappers like punk-ass prostitutes. Pimp slap them bitches while I count my loot. I get respect everywhere that I go. Ask the bitches in your hood, cause they know Suge, please. You messing with the old double G. Taking a rap and won't be copping no plea. In my pocket, I got 500 G's. So get down on your M&F knees. Bitch, please. Y'all might as well submit, give up and quit. So long as I'm dropping the game, the shit's lit. Snoop Dogg be open up the anties when all you other rappers run around wearing pink panties. Go on living in denial while I show you how it's done as I do a doggy style. Different strokes for different folks. I'm balling in a Beamer while you riding in a Volks. Only way you drive a Lincoln Continental is go down to Enterprise and get yourself a rental. I'm sorry, but I got no sympathy. So if Suge, you wanna step to me, get the best of me. This just a tip, wait till you see the rest of me. Suge, please, you messing with the old double G. Taking a rap, but I ain't copping no plea. So get down on your M&F knees. Bitch, please, Suge, please. In my pocket, I got 500 G's. Got my hand on my Jimmy and my squeeze. Go back to school and get your GED. Bitch, please. Snoop Dogg laying it down, doggy style. And if you wanna bring it, Suge, you know where my crib is.
Excuse me, Miss Dawson. You think we're bad, huh? You wanna clean up the streets, huh? Well, you better put society in handcuffs. You got a hard job. Music by Bernstein, lyrics by Sondheim. I'm talking about West Side Story. It's before my time. Police sweat me like the sharks in the jets because I do what I does so they wanna get me. If you let me, I'll explain the game, clear my name, and show you ain't a damn thing changed. So don't criticize the way that I parlay. This ain't Broadway. We learned it the hard way.
imus in the morning.
We traded the New York Stock Exchange under the...
Imus!
Tonight after the hour, here on the Imus in the Morning program, and somebody wrote me so I told you on this AOL instant messaging thing, which I just now turned off because it irritated me. Somebody pointed out that I was an old white fart talking about Suge Knight, and I sounded stupid.
That was Lou.
Well, I do know what's going on. I realize that. But you have to be aware of what's going on. I mean,
Right.
I'm astounded when I talk to various people, like particularly people in the media who have no idea what's going on other than in politics or whatever. And there's no excuse for that. I'll tell you who's fairly well informed is Howard Feynman from Newsweek. But there are others who have no idea what's going on.
Yep. Very narrow vision.
Like this person here, Margaret Carlson from Time.
Now, wait a minute.
Clueless. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were on the phone.
Your business, where the future is, the Amex. And with reports every 20 minutes, I'm Jerry Recco, WFAN 2020 Sports.
Welcome to the 21st century. If you're a Verizon Wireless customer, you can reach us on your mobile phone at pound FAN. It's easy to remember. Pound FAN. Give us a call. It's a brand new way to call us here at the Fan. Sports Radio 66 6, WFAN, New York.
523, the Hagstrom Maps Fan Highway Patrol, and a good morning to Lori McNichol.
Good morning, Jerry. This report is brought to you by Zipperstein's, where they'll flower you with gifts and great savings on paints, wall covering, window treatments, and more to make your home bloom. Zipperstein's, great price, great advice. It's a pretty easy ride throughout the metro.
Sports sponsor of the New York Stock Exchange, 18 after the hour, this half hour of the Radiothon, sponsored by Newman's Own, Paul Newman's company, in which all of the food product.
Darling, you sent me. I know you sent me. Darling, you sent me. Honest you do, honest you do, honest you do. Whoa, Imus in the morning.
I continue to hear people say,
Oh, Ward at the midcourt line. Right wing, Rice for three. Got it!
The future champs finish the regular season with a bang.
Wait a minute.
Good morning, Mike Greenwood Sports. Gus Johnson with the call on WFAN.
Mikey.
Playing without LJ and the Canby Man. The other Nick Hero stepped up as they defeated and shut down the Pistons last night at the Garden, 94-88. So the Knicks now are in the playoffs as the 4 seed. Their first-round playoff victim will be the Toronto Raptors.
Oh, God.
That will be game 1 on Sunday at Madison Square Garden.
Where?
Garden.
Okay, Madison Square Garden.
And the first Garden will be on Sunday. On Thursday will be game 2 before they head north of the border to play in Toronto. Now, while 16 teams get ready for the playoffs, Chicago Bulls go home with the worst record in the NBA, but they finished with a victory over Philadelphia last night. Bulls forward Elton Brand was serious after the game when he said this.
In a row. Against the New Jersey team that tried to win, against the Washington team that tried to win. You know, it gets us some momentum going into the next season.
Momentum going into the next season.
Right.
Man, he is delusional. Oh, my God. Catapult them into a 16-win year campaign. Meanwhile, in football, Jerry Rice may soon be a Detroit Lion. The 63-year-old wide receiver met with Lions officials early this week, came away impressed. He'll speak with the Cleveland Browns today in hopes of continuing his career. And a big boost for the WNBA. Australia's number 1 player, Lauren Jackson, maybe the best player in the world, has signed on to play with the WNBA this summer. The 6'5" center with an excellent jumper, terrific ball handling ability, and a strong rebounder. She's slender with smooth legs that go on forever. A combination of her pale skin and jet black hair,
That'll do.
along with her muscular torso.
That's enough. God, what's wrong with you?
Keep going. Now, that's sports. I'm Mike Breen.
Telephone number 1-877-877-6464. Back with Deirdre Imus and Dr. Lou Ramazzotto. A couple minutes.
In the morning.
All right, let me talk to you now about, for the first time, you can buy or sell all of the companies in the Fortune 500 index at once. Just as you buy or sell a single share of stock, the Fortune 500 index fund is an exchange-traded fund that trades throughout the day under the ticker symbol FFF. With the FFF, you can buy a share of not just one stock, but all of the stocks in the Fortune 500 index fund, from Apple Computer and Alcoa to Walmart and Xerox. Why invest in one when you can invest in them all with one trade? Invest the same way in the Street Tracks Dow Jones Global Titans Index Fund. All these big global companies like General Motors, General Electric, IBM, Sony, buy them. 764. Remember, anything over $100 gets you an Imus Ranch hat.
Yeah.
And we're at $130,000 now to fly in the iJet, spend a weekend out at the Imus Ranch on June 1st.
let's talk about...
That's what you say. Each time that I hold you this way. Imus in the morning.
Sleek, sculpted, and poised for action, the Audi A6 2.8 stands apart from the luxury crowd And the Celebration Luxury Package, with its power sunroof, supple leather interior, and home-link transmitter, takes it up another notch. A test drive reveals more. The power of a race-bred 5-valve V6, 5-speed Tiptronic shifting that lets you switch from automatic to manual mode with a flick of the wrist, and available Quattro, our legendary all-wheel drive system with its effortless command of the road. All told, a perfect blend of performance and panache. The A6 2.8 with the Celebration Luxury Package. Do not pass this offer.
Now, for a limited time, your tri-state area Audi dealer is offering very special leases on all A6 2.8 models. Visit your tri-state area Audi dealer and test drive an Audi A6 or any of Audi's high-performance vehicles.
They have a term in the computer business, garbage in, garbage out. Put the wrong information in.
And Susan Waldman are next, and then they're idiots?
No, you're an idiot.
And then Mike Francesa and Chris Russo a little bit later on. 3 minutes now till the hour. Thank you all very much.
Are you losing your hair?
Singing after dark, people think I'm crazy. Stuffing on my feet, shuffling to the street, asking people, what's the matter with you, boy? Sometimes I want to say to myself, sometimes I say,
Q.
15 years.
15 years.
Yes.
Susie, and your last name?
Imus.
Susie Imus.
Susie Imus.
Susie Kirshner.
IMUS.
Susie Kirshner, who is the executive assistant to the general manager, right?
Correct.
And Susie is one of the nicest people that
One of the sweetest people you'll ever run
that I've
into.
ever met.
Yep.
She's just and obviously very competent and does a great job at the radio station, and we've known her 15 years. And her son Devin is here with us. And why, Devin, are you here?
Because I'm here to support the Hackensack Medical Center as well as the Don Imus Medical Center.
How
and the
did
CJ
you,
Foundation for SIDS.
Now, how did you get involved in tomorrow's Children's Fund?
Well, what happened was I had first had a brain tumor, and so I visited there and met the oncologist there, and through FAN we.
All right, 5 minutes after the hour here on the Imus in the Morning program, Snoop Doggy Dogg, and really much getting in the face of everybody, Jay-Z, Eminem, Puff, and unfortunately, Suge Knight. Yep. And I don't know. Now, our information is that Suge Knight, who is the head of Death Row Records and has been in prison for the past 5 years on a bogus parole violation, which really is, I mean,
I know I sound foolish, but I don't. You may think I sound foolish. I don't. The point is that Suge was punched a gang member of the Crips in a casino in Las Vegas, and they claimed that was a violation of Suge's parole, which is obscene. They were just out to get him because some L.A. gang member shot his mouth off to Suge, and Suge punched him. What would you do? You'd punch him. If you're Suge Knight.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
So Suge now is apparently going to, if the story in Newsweek leads you to believe that he's about to get out of prison, but the information we have is that he's going to be moved to a federal prison, but I don't
Really?
Maybe that's it in anticipation of his being released.
Maybe so.
But
If there's a God.
If there's a God, what?
That the move to the federal prison is in anticipation of his release to a halfway house, and he's going to get out.
Yes.
It's not some further incarceration.
Yeah,
or some other bogus deal.
Right. Yeah. So now, whether he should have been put in jail in the first place is,
Well, it's so open to further examination, probably. A review of the facts.
Apparently, he was at a party or something, and they wanted to use a telephone to make an emergency telephone call.
It was a company party, I believe a death row party.
A death row company party, and one thing led to another, and he wound up beating a couple of people.
Yeah.
Fairly senseless with a telephone.
Mm-hmm.
Which, one, he wasn't armed, hence
True.
he had to use the telephone.
True.
And B, maybe he wanted to use the phone. And these people...
How can a telephone be construed as a deadly weapon or anything? I mean, that's just an instrument happened to be at hand. He's trying
The guy should have been charged with vandalism for breaking the phone with his head.
Certainly so.
And these people were apparently probably one of these L.A. parties all coked up.
Sure.
Yakking on the phone about nothing. And Suge, of course, realized that and probably said, may I use the phone? And the guy might have lipped off to Suge. Well, what was Suge supposed to do?
Could have simply been defending himself.
Mm-hmm.
Probably was. So this song parody that Rob wrote, Bartlett, B-A-R-T-L-E-T-T, could be construed as dissing Suge, which I think is unfortunate. I don't want to think I don't think you want to suggest in a song parody, while Suge is sitting in prison, that you had Suge's mama out on a stroll, which would mean essentially,
well, we don't even need to.
We don't even. You can just
go
imagine
into
what that
all
means.
Yeah.
So. And then we have a very amusing edition of Imus in Washington, a new edition of the Doprantos, and a couple of other essays assailing various acts of government officials. Right now, Andrea Mitchell is, where are you?
I was out exercising, Mr. Imus. How are you?
I'm fine. Exercising?
Yeah.
What? Are you there now?
Working out.
Are you at the gym?
Correct.
Are you there now?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you going to turn me into Russert?
No, that's fine.
No, this is admirable. This
No,
is great.
no.
I am not on the job yet.
We have enough fat people reporting the news on NBC. We don't need one more. We'll go back and do some crunches. And thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Andrea Mitchell, NBC News, here in the Imus Morning program. Here's steak again. Now what do you want?
Let me tell you something. You could send the moving trucks. You could send your limousine. I wouldn't move up to that rat-infested swill hole that you call a WFAN in a million years.
Why'd you beg us for a job then?
I didn't beg you for a job. Bernie called me crying and whining like a girl that he was having problems with McEnroe. Could I bail his ass out for a couple of days?
You had your opportunity.
I wouldn't work for that crew. I wouldn't work with you if you were the last radio icon in America.
Not now.
You
ridiculous.
Failed. Miserably.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
What's wrong with Vinko?
He's a nice guy. Gosh darn it. I mean, he's trying hard for a guy his age. He's still working at it, but give me a break.
Hey, Steak, when you filled in for McEnroe, how'd that work out?
How did it work out?
How'd it work out? Don't give me attitude. How did it work out? Did it work out well or did it not?
It worked out swimmingly.
Yeah, that means you drowned. Yes, absolutely. Come on.
All right, thanks.
When people ask what do you finance at CIT, I think they...
The late Richard M. Nixon.
Indeed. Dick, down with the West Coast, Nixon. Imus in the morning. And I thank you very much, as always, for permitting me to join you. Now then, I haven't been on in quite a while, and I've been unable, as a result, to share with you my thoughts on this latest crisis. Two superpowers, eyeball to eyeball, neither willing to make any genuine apology, both making threats about the danger of open hostilities. I know you've been watching all of this unfold with the keenest of interest.
Well, I have, and the implications are, as
Sure.
you know, enormous.
Oh, yes.
China, the United States, facing a new era of
No, dickhead. Not China and the United States. Suge Knight and P. Diddy Combs. Oh, jeez. China and the United States? Who cares? Somebody's about to get their ass kicked, I dude. And I am not talking Juan Hookie and Condoleezza Rice. Now then, why would a dead, white, former president of the United States be talking about the abrasive and discordant world of hip-hop music, as it were?
Yeah.
Well, because there are powerful lessons to be learned.
Oh, okay.
You know the fundamentals of the story. Suge Knight, Death Row Records, 5 years in the can for busting parole. Phony deal, in my view, Dono. I mean, what did he do? They say, and you know how that goes, that my man Suge beat a couple of guys bloody with a telephone at a party. I'm saying, what's he supposed to do? He had to make a call. And then they say Suge and Tupac Shakur whipped a Crip's ass in a Vegas casino a couple of hours before somebody popped a cap in Tupac's ass in that drive-by. And I'm saying, what was he supposed to do? The guy at the casino wouldn't split a pair of baits. Funk that. Anyway, Suge's paid his debt, whatever it was, and he's reasserting himself, Dano, which means, and here's the lesson, if I'm East Coast Puffy Combs, the next tune I write is something about how I just joined the Witness Protection Program after undergoing more feature-altering plastic surgery than effing Michael Jackson. If you're P. Diddy, the last thing you want to hear is that Suge's loose, in my view. Tail of the tape, okay? Suge Knight, out of Compton. And he denies this, of course, but the word is that, besides occasionally beating half of hip-hop to death, he once forced a music producer to, to consume a certain bodily waste out of a champagne glass, because the dude wouldn't tell him where Puffy's mother lived. They also say he once hung Vanilla Ice, you know, the lame white guy, out of a window by his ankles over a money matter. Only thing he can be faulted for there, I'd suggest, is failing to let go of the bastard. But anyway, how does Puffy stack up versus Suge? You tell me. Suge phone whips people, serves urine cocktails, does 5 years in the joint, and conducts parties that don't end till you see blood and an ambulance. What does P. Diddy do? Designs clothing. Like Joseph Abood, for God's sake. I'm surprised he didn't perform at the Grammys with Elton John. Designs clothes, gets dissed by J-Lo, denies having guns, for crying out loud, and now, in the very week Suge Knight gets sprung, Puff Daddy gets arrested in Miami Beach for driving with a suspended license. Driving what, you ask? A motor scooter. How in the hell can you be a rap star and get arrested driving a motor scooter? Boy, there's a real hellion, AI man. A gun-denying, clothes-designing, motor-scooting assassin. Makes you think that maybe when Suge was dangling Vanilla Ice out of that window, maybe he did drop him into a vat of cocoa, eh? Puff Daddy Combs, chocolate ice. Ouch! Death Row Dick in the old Dick Scope today, man, showing great breadth in his role as a deceased former president of the United States.
Yeah, time to bring your ass to the table, y'all. Bringing it live, East Coast, West Coast, throwing it up ghetto style. While these other rappers just frontin', cause they ain't nothing but Richard Simmons in a Kangol. From the S to the double O-P, double G, Snoop Dogg in the house on the J-O-B. 8 million stories in the big city, but no pity for Puff Diddy, that brother is splitty. Jay-Z caught with a pea shooter, Puffy get arrested on a faggot-ass scooter. Slim Shady think he living large, but when they gotta step up, plead to a lesser charge. Death Row out on parole. Well, for the past 5 years, I had his mama on the stroll. The bitch know I ain't faking jack. Got her $20 a night, ain't bad for a hunchback. Treat them other rappers like punk-ass prostitute. Pimp slap them bitches while I count my loot. I get respect everywhere that I go. Ask the bitches in your hood, cause they know. Suge, please, you messing with the old double G. Taking a rap and won't be copping no please. In my pocket, I got 500 G's. So get down on your M&F knees. Bitch, please. Y'all might as well submit, give up and quit. So long as I'm dropping the games, the shit's lit. Snoop Dogg be upping up the antes when all you other rappers run around wearing pink panties. Go on living in denial while I show you how it's done as I do a Doja style. Different strokes for different folks. I'm balling in a Beamer while you riding in a Volks. Only way you drive a Lincoln Continental is go down to Enterprise and get yourself a rental. I'm sorry, but I got no sympathy. So if Suge, you wanna step to me, get the best of me. This just a tip, wait till you see the rest of me. Suge, please, you messing with the old double G. Taking a rap, but I ain't copping no please. So get down on your Eminem knees. Bitch, please. Shook, please. In my pocket, I got 500 G's. Got my hand on my Jimmy and I squeeze. Go back to school and get your GEDs. Bitch, please. Snoop Dogg laying it down, Douglas style. And if you wanna bring it, Suge, you know where my crib at, boy.
That might have been a mistake.
Walking bird dog. Just a walking bird dog. If you don't know how to do it, show you how to walk bird dog. Come on now, come on. Imus in the morning.
Well, in times like these, when no one knows where the economy's headed next, maintaining your successful career should be your number one concern. And with sixfigurejob.com, you can keep yourself at the top of your game and a step ahead of the competition at all times.
It's a big deal. It's a conflagration.
A religious war is what it is.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
We have a couple of players from the New York Knickerbockers who essentially have revealed themselves to be anti-Semitic, and we have some people, like my friend Mike Francesa, who thinks that these people are not public figures, and he's wrong about that. Just wrong. And they are public figures.
Well, we cited one example, Charlie Ward, involved in this big literacy program in the state of Florida, and the American Jewish Congress has asked that he be removed from that. So I mean, yes, he's a public figure. He's being held up as a standard.
Yeah. So you have to admit when you're wrong and say, yes, I stand corrected on that issue. And now Susan Waldman, who appears on a radio station as in a role of a talk show host, was screaming about it yesterday, and she wondering why there wasn't any outrage in the media. And I thought she was right about that. I didn't hear her, but as her comments have been reported to me, she has a good point. And you can't dismiss these comments because, simply considering the source, because the same wasn't done with any of these other people who've made these comments, Jimmy the Greek or Al Campanis or John Rocker or Ted Turner.
Right.
Or these guys are being cut slack because they're black. That's the only reason.
And if they weren't public figures, you wouldn't heard about these comments.
No.
That's the reason we know all about this, because they are public figures.
Yeah, so the playing basketball that's part of their role as a...
They're in the public eye.
So, I mean, I don't even know why you sound like you're talking to a 4-year-old. Haven't explained that. I don't...
Well, I mean, the facts refute the argument. The facts are that we know about it because...
But suggesting that we're out of line trying to stir things up here at the radio station, I don't first of all, need to be lectured by anybody. I don't think we need to lose perspective on exactly who I am. And that I am, in fact, I'm one of the 2 or 3 geniuses in the history of this medium.
How about a godlike figure?
So I don't think...
Responsible for your job.
Yeah, I don't think I need to be, to anybody, some nitwit, to try to explain to me what they think is appropriate for me to do. The
I man.
I am the I man. God, I mean, how we can lose sight of that is perhaps more shocking than these comments.
Stunning,
in fact. It's I don't find this amusing, McCall.
No, not amusing at all. I might point out that I man and icon both are 4-letter words.
Thank you.
Beginning with
Shocking lack of perspective.
Yeah. 6 minutes till the hour here on the Imus Morning program. There's a couple of things I have to mention. One, we have instant messaging from America Online that you can get involved with here on the program at Imus WFAN. And if you have any sort of instant message that we think is worthy of mention, we will.
Yeah.
But that's how you get involved in it, and it's fun.
Something's relevant.
Somebody from America Online demonstrated it to me, and it actually is fun. And Nikon sponsors the Autobot Express, and at the Autobot Express there's a huge Mother's Day sale going on. And they have gift packs of chips and salsa, or Imus Brothers coffee, and Imus Brothers coffee mugs. And you buy any of those, either one of those, and they will throw in a free bag of coffee or a free coffee mug.
Excellent.
That's about a $10 value.
There you go.
For nothing. So, and the Autobot Express opens in about 5 minutes. You can call them at 1-800-272-1957.
Now wait a minute. Imus in the morning.
All right, let me talk to you now.
Been holding. Kevin, you're on the fan.
The last thing Jody said before one of the flashes ago was that, it was 2,000 years ago,
Shouldn't everyone just be over this sort of stuff? And what did you think about that?
What are you talking about?
Oh, what am I talking about? I just said.
Well, what's your point?
Shouldn't everyone that has been treated unfairly over all the years, shouldn't all that be put aside also?
Kevin, where are you going with this? Your point is, who cares what Charlie Ward says?
That's my point.
Okay,
At some point,
well, I'll tell you what the point is. I'll tell you who
you're
cares.
going to tell me what my point is or yours?
It's mine. It's my show. Charlie Ward is put out there as a role model, and he's got a forum. He goes and he speaks to little kids all the time. And if you're supposed to believe Charlie Ward about the fact that you should stay in school and not do drugs, do those little kids also believe that the Jews killed Christ?
Okay, now, how many kids do you think read New York Times Magazine? Does he speak about that when he goes to third grade classes?
I haven't the slightest idea. I haven't the slightest idea what he does. He said it in the New York Times. He said it to a reporter.
Kevin, if you... his opinion on something.
Right, and I'm giving my opinion on something. Yes, I took offense to it.
When Rocker said all that stuff, believe me, you were not that hard on him. You took it easy on him because he never said anything about the religion that you follow. If he would have said, and by the way, all those Jews in New York, believe me, Susan, you would have flipped out.
Well,
there's no doubt in my mind. If you say no, then
well,
you're not being
you don't know my mind, and don't tell me whether I'm being truthful or not. And the point I was making, if you would have listened, is that baseball took action on John Rocker in the first place. Where is David Stern? Where is the NBA? That was my point. And don't you ever call and tell me what I think and about my religious beliefs. You haven't the slightest idea what I think.
Oh, this is great.
Ooh. Oh, man. Jody, your thoughts?
Yes, Jody, what were you going to say?
Okay, on the fan, back after this.
What was Jody doing at the time? He was cowering under the desk,
He was
right?
sucking his thumb in the corner there. I don't blame him either.
Well, she's got a good point, though.
And Francesca and Russo have a good point. They sent Larry Johnson and Latrell Sprewell out to talk to these kids, and how come that's okay? Larry Johnson's got 10 kids by 10 different wives. He's no role model.
That's a very good point,
That's a very good point.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
They sent him out. What's the dealio?
Well, my only complaint is the following. Is that, one, I don't think you can say who cares and consider the source, because, in fact, they are public figures and role models, and it's irrelevant whether some kid reads the New York Times or not. The point is it gets reported and they become aware of it. And they don't. I mean, that's a idiotic observation made by a moron who called the radio station. But and it's gutless for the NBA not to do something about it. But they aren't doing anything about it because the players are black, and that's the only reason. So
if Charlie Wood had a gold tooth, wore his hat sideways, and put this to music, he'd get a Grammy.
Yeah. So, and when I talked to Suge Knight later, well, I could probably cut a deal for him. Suge is Suge out now?
Suge has been, as I understand it, he has been released from the prison where he was being held and was headed next to the halfway house to serve out whatever remains of his obligation.
Well, why? He's still.
But I guess there are still restrictions, so far as phone privilege.
Because I can't talk to him until 1:30 Eastern time this afternoon.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you can find out, obviously, specifically what the situation is. Sure.
Find out where he's at, literally, where he's at.
Exactly.
14 out there. Well, we're not going to get much out of this, it doesn't sound like.
No, I tried, but
I don't know.
Not a whole lot there.
There's not much to stir up. Maybe Francesca was right. It's just, there's not much to get out of it. I don't know. I'm happy that they're upset, though.
Got ugly around here yesterday.
They did?
Oh, it's great. It's fantastic.
And as I said, it persisted all night long into every show as around the clock. Yeah. Right. And I think was the last subject being discussed before Mr. Benigno, the overnight guy, went off the air this morning at 5:30.
And it's remarkably ill-informed. Just one.
Oh, it's just the oldest, most obsolete idea in the world.
But it used to be conventional wisdom.
I understand that.
Used to be.
Yeah.
And he still believes it is, apparently. In fact, didn't the Catholic Church taught that up until Vatican II?
I believe that that's part of the controversy, right?
Yeah. Can't a brother have an opinion? What's up with that?
Here's Bill from Chappaqua. Good morning, Bill.
Hey, Ahmed. What's going on with you? You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Did I actually hear you defending Susan Wallman, then blowing up your buddy Mike Francesa?
Yeah.
What is this, Upside Down Day? I mean, with all you said about her in the past, when you started out this morning talking about functional illiterates, I thought you meant her. But turns out it's Mike and the Mad Dog. Who would have ever thought they'd go on the air and say something stupid? Charlie Ward's no different than their barber. Does that barber get $4.6 million a year? somewhat observant. Not about the not eating bacon part, but the not wanting to have sex part.
Yeah.
But you're missing one really important component to this episode, I-Man.
What would that be?
These aren't Mensa mathletes, they're basketball players.
No, I know that.
But Charlie Ward is wrong about the Jews killing Jesus. That's like saying human beings murdered him. Because back in them days, everybody was Jewish. Even Jesus knows Christianity didn't start up till after he was gone. They got to let the Hebrews off the hook for this one, I-Man. Even the Pope came out a few years ago to officially exonerate them of culpability. I mean, when even the Holy Father's giving them a get-out-of-jail-free card, these born-again losers got to lighten up. NBA should have been stronger in their treatment of this moron. They should make him take a plane over Israel to atone for his sins. Go pray in the Holy Land. Although I did that once, like talking to a wall.
That will be fine. Go from Chappaqua here on the I'm just Morning program. 17 after the hour here now. Anything else going on, Chuck?
A couple of things.
Texas, I wasn't interested in that.
Well, who cares?
I know the story, didn't I?
Oh, of course. I remember that whole thing when you were investing in them and stuff. And that they were coming through.
Well, yeah, the point was, I really didn't invest a lot of money in it. But the shocking part was that they came in.
It wasn't dry holes.
I didn't invest in a dry hole. They all came in.
Unbelievable.
I still have money in them. That's been 30 years later, 20 years later.
Yeah.
All right, 20 minutes till it. Well, the Suge Knight's coming up, and Charles hasn't heard it. No, Bernie, you didn't hear any of it either, did you?
No.
This is great. It's fascinating stuff coming up.
You were never with me while I moved on, but I love to hold you in my arms. No one can feel like you do. So hold that kiss for a long, long while. You know I love you, honey child. I'm a in the morning.
Listen, before you say
what?
MC Nickel.
MC Nickel, this is your... Get out of my studio. Get out of that studio. It's a quarter till the hour here in the Irish Morning program.
All right,
Do you know who Suge Knight is, Warner?
You know, I don't follow that, too. I mean, you know what I know from what you said, from what I've heard you say, yeah.
An education from the I-Man.
That's right.
You do know that there was a big spread on him in last week's Newsweek.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you, but anything I know is really from what you said about the jail and stuff. Record business.
He's a fascinating guy.
Yeah.
Now, you saw the Mickey Mantle, Roger Maris movie. How's that? Billy Crystal movie. How's that?
A home run.
Really?
Fantastic. It was great. The 61 season Maris and Mantle, you don't have to be a baseball fan to like this movie.
Really?
But then again, Warner likes the producers. Keep that in mind.
Well, that's okay. I've heard other people say this 61 asterisk.
Yeah.
Whatever they...
Right.
Yeah.
That was from Ford Frick.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is great, just Mantle and Maris's relationship, and both of them chasing Ruth, and the toll it took on Maris. I mean, it killed him. It was horrible.
Hair fell out.
Yes. Rashes.
Yeah, hate when that happens.
And I'll tell you, the filming, baseball movies are tough. Most of them look hokey. Oh, come on. They look great. They look like hitters. And the resemblance of these two guys.
Yeah, I did see that. That's pretty remarkable.
Oh, unbelievable. Barry Pepper, who plays Maris, and Thomas Jane, who plays Mantle, they look like them.
Well, Billy Crystal, of course, is a legitimate baseball fan.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you see him out at these... I don't see him, but you see him out at these baseball games in June.
Right.
No, he's not there just during the playoffs. I mean, the guy's a legitimate fan. I don't know. That doesn't mean he can make a good baseball movie. But having said that, he at least knows enough about baseball that if he had enough ability, he could make a good baseball movie, and apparently he has.
He has. He's an absolute winner. And
I could play Marge Shot.
It's sad. I mean, it's...
Get Billy Crystal working on that one.
Just, they use Tiger Stadium.
And you could play Dr. Dre. And I'm sure Suge, after this morning's conversation...
I get my boy Suge to kick your butt.
With Governor Knight, the next governor of California, Suge Knight, you'll understand where I'm coming from.
I'm shaking.
Dr. Dre is, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's true what Suge says. But,
yeah.
Well, we have no reason not to. It was easy to check it out, but...
Yeah, take him at his word.
Let me just give you a hint. Dr. Dre had his love interest he picked up at a strip club.
Okay.
So,
all right.
How about his love interest the last 5 years?
Well. So.
How was the sex in prison?
I don't think I'm going to confront Suge with
That's not an area you investigate.
That's not an area that we were investigating.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody was raping Suge Knight, by the way. Guy's 6'3" with 330 pounds. I don't think you're going to...
Well, who was he taking?
Well,
who was he sticking? Who was his house bitch, his cell bitch?
I don't think we're going to get into that either.
Warner, your thoughts on this?
I'm in the morning 2020 Sports with Warner Wolf. Man, what a weird-looking little dude. Yes, suck, Warner.
Good morning, Warner.
Good morning. Thank you, I-Man. NBA playoffs. Allen Iverson had 45 to offset Reggie Miller's 41. Sixers beat the Pacers 116-98. Iverson, 15 out of 27 from the field.
Why does he wear that white thing on his right arm?
Oh, he has bursitis.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Miller had 33.
That's not to cover up on a particularly offensive tattoo or anything.
Not that I know of.
Oh, okay.
he has enough showing elsewhere.
Says free Suge.
Miller had 33 in the first half, but then came out in the second half, missed 6 out of 7 shots, only 8 points. So the series is tied 1-1. After the game, here was Iverson.
This is one of my most memorable. Did I say that right?
Wow.
15 out of 27 from
Was
the
well
field.
coached.
Yeah.
Darn right.
Well coached.
Leave me in.
Make those shots.
That seemed like a good idea. Give Iverson a ball.
Yeah.
That's what I would do if I were the coach.
That's a coach.
All right.
Jazz beat Dallas 109-98. Malone had 34. Stockton had 9 assists. And this was a tough game. They had 70 personal fouls in this game, 7 technicals, 1 flagrant, and 2 ejections. And words were exchanged between the Mavericks owner, Mark Cuban, and the Jazz coach, Jerry Sloan. Baseball.
What did they say to each other? Do we know?
Stupid. Come on, get a free Suge.
Sugar's getting out.
Sugar's good.
Oh, we keep that in mind, all of you. Sugar is getting out in about 2 months
Right.
here.
My man.
Yeah.
Remember that, Snoop?
Next governor of California, Suge Knight.
Oh, my God. I think the I-Man swallowed during this interview. Sounds like.
My man, Suge.
Jeez.
Baseball, Red Sox, Twins, and Seattle are all in first place, so you know it's April. The Yankees lost. There was this controversial play. I don't know if you saw it, I-Man, but this Lampkin hits a ball in the 7th inning. Knobloch goes back, reaches up. Ball goes in and out of his glove. Then it looks like it hits the top of the fence and then bounces back in play. The umpire said it went into the stands.
Right.
Replay doesn't really show that. Gave him a 2-run homer and
hit his glove.
Hit his glove.
Yeah.
Looked like he really didn't have to jump. A little still inexperienced. And
He can't play anywhere.
I mean, at least if he doesn't catch it, then he doesn't have to throw it back.
That's right. He threw it the wrong direction.
Just go ahead and throw it in the stand.
He threw it in the parking lot.
That's a good point. That's right.
Yeah, so.
Is it home that way?
Keith Olbermann's mother again out there in the stands.
Yeah, I mean.
What a buffoon.
I don't know what that's all about. We don't have any empathy or compassion for Chuck Knobloch?
He couldn't play second base. He's not going to be able to play anywhere.
Oh, there's the play, yeah.
No.
Right.
Yeah, it looks like it hits the top of the wall. Shouldn't have been a home run. But Clemens went 7.
Well, good.
And Ricky Henderson tied Babe Ruth's record.
What record?
Which one? The walk record. Most walks, 2,062.
Ricky Henderson. Okay, he's got to be my age, isn't he?
He's 42. Yeah, he is your age.
Oh, younger than I am.
Out there.
Ricky Henderson, man. There's another guy you just said.
Holy cow.
You've got to be convinced. Just has no clue what's going on, does he?
How could he?
Well, how could he? Some clue, but I mean, it makes no difference to him what team he plays for. Right. He shows up, puts a uniform on, plays cards in the clubhouse, and goes out and does what he wants.
That's it. Where the bitch is at?
Yeah.
Right. Have gloves.
Buys another watch or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Who got the cards?
Finally.
Yeah.
Have ball will travel.
All right.
38-year-old Randall Cunningham has been with the Eagles, the Vikings, the Cowboys. He's ready to sign with the Ravens as a backup to Elvis Grbac. Now, there's a guy, just talk about longevity, just goes on and on.
He can still play a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all they want him to play, is a little bit.
All right, Warner Wolf here in the Irish Morning Program, 7 minutes till the hour.
It's the Warner Wolf of football.
Shortly after 7 o'clock Eastern Time, part 1 of my 3-parter with Mary and Suge Knight.
Yeah.
What's the name of this? You got me doing what you want me. Hey.
So, baby, what you want to let go?
No, baby, what you want me to do?
59-1211. Got me running, you got me hiding, you got me
y'all? What's up, girlfriend? It's time to get a party up in here in these pants. Suge Knight, you so crazy. You know I'm fresh as a daisy. You think you got all the answers? Call me gay just cause I got a friend who a Chippendale dancer. Ooh, Bruce may be slender and tender, and me and him the same gender. But that don't mean we a mutual booty surrender. We both clean and over 18. You make it sound like we queens, hanging out in bars, tongue-kissing Marines. No, you didn't. So at the risk of becoming another one of your fatalities, I need to bring your fine ass back to reality. As far as anyone know, I'm just the same as before. And though I go with the flow, you know I'm no Oreo. If you don't need me no more, back to the closet I go. But just cause I ain't with death row, don't mean that I'm a homo. I moved out the hood for good. You blame me, you made your point. Now when you get out the joint, please don't maim me. I ain't no rapper's delight, but you know, I'm alright. Even though deep down I really wish I was white. I may be butter soft and sugar sweet, and I believe to be a rapper you don't need a rap sheet. But I ain't no ex-con phenomenon wearing a leather strap on. So what if Eminem was tiny dancing with Elton John? And if somehow little Bow Wow is somewhere now tweezing his eyebrows, what difference does it make to y'all anyhow? I have a right to live the life I choose, so before you accuse, walk a mile in my shoes. Just so you know I ain't one of Jimmy or Jerry's chumps. These ain't Reeboks, though they are leather pumps. As far as anyone know, I'm just the same as before. And though I go with the flow, you know I'm no Oreo. If you don't need me no more, back to the closet I go. But just cause I ain't with death row, don't mean that I'm a homo. You know, I find prison life glamorous. Now, don't think I'm over amorous, but I saw your picture in Newsweek, and Suge, you look fabulous.
Uh-oh. Well, Dr. Dre here, responding to the accusations made by Marion Suge Knight here on yesterday in the Irish Morning Program. 20 after the hour on line one. Rob from Virginia. Good morning, Rob.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Good morning.
I find it troubling about these coffee mugs. Are you positive, that maybe the crew of that EP3 wasn't forced into labor to manufacture your coffee mugs while they were held for 12 days?
That could very well be. Yeah.
That could be a big problem.
Yeah. Coming up on 21 after the hour here on the imus394 program. Lou Rufino off today, and so Eddie Scazzeri filling in. And
taking a beating.
To this point, it has been a disaster because I even called Eddie into the office yesterday, and I said, Eddie, let's go over the bumper list. There are about 500 bumpers. And then these bumpers are these either pieces of music or spoken word excerpts and various things that relate to, if you pick the right one, it relates to anything that we've just done, which was the reason I came up with the idea to do them in the first place.
Yeah, something that just preceded it.
Yeah. But, and Lou is a genius at picking ones that are appropriate, and Eddie is anything but that. So, Eddie, why Eddie thought coming out of Anna Quinlan that it was appropriate to pick a snatch from, as it were,
Shake Your Ass.
From Mystical's Shake Your Ass, Show Me What You're Working With, escapes me.
That's funny.
I just couldn't find the Wake Up one.
But
Paul Rosenberg, your faithful attorney at law. Listen, I listened to the rough copy of your album, and I just got to be honest with you. Can you tone it down a little bit? Because there's only so much I can explain. Give me a call.
Slim Shady, brain dead like Jim Brady. I'm a M80, you little like that Kim lady. I'm buzzing, dirty dozen, naughty rotten rhymer. Cursing that you play is worse than Morty Schottenheimer. You whacking in the mother you bitch your style from. You ain't gonna sell 2 copies if you press a double album. Admit it, it. While we coming out in the open, I'm doing nasty crack, smack, coke, and smoking dope then. My name is Marshall Mathers, I'm an alcoholic. I have a disease and they don't know what to call it. Better hide your wallet, cause I'm coming up quick to strip your cash. Bought a ticket to your concert just to come and whip your ass. Bitch, I'm coming out swinging, so fast that'll make your eyes spin. You getting knocked the out like Mike Tyson. The proof is in the pudding, this ass is Sean Holman. I'll split your mother throw worse than Ron Goldman. So when you see me on your block with 2 blocks screaming the world like Tupac, just don't give up. Talking this behind my back, dirty Mac and telling your boys that I'm on crack, just don't give up. So put my tape back on the rack, go run and tell your friends my shit is whack. I just don't give up. But see me on the street and duck, cause you gon' get stuck, stolen, snuck, cause I just don't give up.
Imus in the morning.
An another lending success story from LendingTree.com.
I needed a home equity loan to repair my...
Highway Patrol.
So we were talking to the priest and rabbi, Monsignor Tom Hartman and Rabbi Mark Gellman about, well, if Jesus is the only answer, and we essentially determined that probably not.
Yeah, no religion is bigger
So
than
there are
all.
more Christians than any other religion on earth.
Right.
2 billion.
There's 1 billion Muslims. There's 980 million Catholics.
Oh,
If you
okay.
add them all together, there's about 2 billion Christians.
Maybe they are right.
Which is enough Christians.
Yeah.
You know, that's 1 out of every 3. That's enough. And 1 out of every 3, anything is enough.
If your radio light sucks in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
Most people don't get a chance to listen to a rabbi. And it was just wonderful to watch him. But somebody came up to me and said, why doesn't Mark convert? And Mark overheard it and said, hey, listen, Jesus was a Jew, Mary was a Jew, Joseph, the husband, was a Jew. If it's good enough for Jesus, it's good enough for me.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Tonight it would turn to almost syrup, and then you pour that on some ice, and oh man, it's
Nothing
great.
like it.
Nothing like it. Well, no, it wasn't great. It was
And to
awful.
think, we thought Ronald Reagan entered the Cold War. No.
You know, it's amazing that your brain is still there.
Yeah, but he looks like
I mean it. I mean,
looks like he
you think
bathed in
about it.
vats of Agent Orange.
Well, the truth is, I drank, but I didn't drink for like 20 years. I only really drank heavily for not very long, 4 or 5 years.
Every day.
But then sometimes actually I would go for weeks and I wouldn't drink at all, or sometimes I'd go for months and not drink. And then I'd go in spells where I drank every day.
Yeah.
But whenever I drank, I got drunk. Every time. I never took a drink where I didn't get drunk. Ever.
Were you a mean drunk? Or?
Oh, God.
He's a mean sober guy.
Look at him now.
Hello.
Well,
He turned into Mr. Roberts all of a sudden. A couple of cocktails.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Not always, no. But I mean, I wasn't a pleasant.
Here, take $20 of it. Here you go.
That's not good. Nobody ever said to me, have another drink, Don. Nobody ever offered to buy me a drink. So, no, that's enough. All right, 1:45 here in the Imus Morning program. Well, we have great news, and Knicks, of course, I don't know if it's great news or not. If it's not great if you're a Knicks fan, they lost, and I don't know. I'm not a Knicks fan, but I don't know. I don't want Toronto to beat them. Do you?
No, but boy, they
Vince
beat
Carter's
up on
an
him.
a-hole.
Huh?
Vince Carter's a gaping a-hole.
Yeah,
that's one.
So we hate Toronto, so I am kind of sorry that I am sorry the Knicks lost, frankly. But they did. They lost by 20 points.
Yeah.
So.
Big time.
Well, we'll have all that. What's this Arnold Schwarzenegger dropping out of the race deal?
That's what it is.
Just a statement, or?
Oh, wait, yes, pretty much in describing the reasons why.
He was accused of...
The National Enquirer was going to come out with a front-page story about an affair he was having.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, he said, I don't think I need this.
Right.
I'll go back to Maria and a fat ass.
I'll see what he has to say.
All right.
You got that, Lou?
Got it now.
Might have thought.
Hello, America. This is Arnold Schwarzenegger, your favorite action and adventure star. And I am sure you are all aware I have decided to remove my stormtrooper Shaco from the political ring and not run for governor of California next year. I want you to know the real reason why. I have already stated through my publicist that I wish to return my focus to my film career. This is not exactly truthful. It's just that that's what publicists always suggest you say when you decide not to do something. Just like when you get fired from a film, it's always for creative differences, when in reality, it's because your acting is so horrible it makes Adam Sandler look like Sir Laurence Olivier. Return my focus to my film career? What film career? Did you see End of Days? Neither did anybody else. Believe me, that movie title works on a number of levels. Nor is my leaving the gubernatorial race due to an unwillingness to subject my family to media scrutiny. Although with a wife who has a forehead like a handball court and an ass like a Mardi Gras float, you could see why I'd want to attempt to keep her off Access Hollywood and the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather. But most importantly, I do not want you to think it has anything to do with a story published in the current National Enquirer concerning an alleged extramarital affair I had with a 41-year-old brunette Fräulein who I first bumped uglies with when she was only 16. All the recent rumors and allegations that have manifested themselves as articles in Premier magazine detailing my complete...
Shut up.
What?
Well, the reason I was encouraged to play it is because on my sheet here it says it was 1:06.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's
So it could have sustained your...
So, I mean, but not for 3 minutes.
You was duped.
And why we have this kind of mistake on... You would think they only have... so it's going to be an unpleasant day for Kara when she gets here to try to explain to me why we have one thing to add and we screw that up. It's not and we don't have to redo anything. We just have one thing to add and we can't get that right.
It's not starting out as a pleasant day.
No, it's not.
No.
So... Rob Bartlett and Bartlett's will be at Bananas in Elmford, New York next Saturday night, May 5th, by the way. Call Ticketmaster for tickets. And Rob will be at the Comedy Connection in Boston, Massachusetts on May 12th. Also, the first annual Courtside Golf Classic will be Monday, May 14th at the North Jersey Country Club in Wayne, New Jersey. All of the proceeds from the annual Courtside Golf Classic are going to the Imus Ranch. Well, that's a pretty good deal. I didn't know anything about this. So if you'd like to get involved in this, it sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. Call David Fair at 973-292-9417, or you can call my office here at the radio station, and we'll hook you up with him. And then you can go play golf out there. Are you going to be at this thing?
I am going to be at it, yeah.
Are you going to play golf?
I might try to.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty good, Charles.
Yeah.
The first annual Courtside Golf Classic, and Charles will be there.
Yep.
Will you be signing autographs, talking to the peeps?
Do whatever anybody wants. Absolutely.
Well, it's very magnanimous of you.
La 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 la. Have mercy.
Imus in the morning.
All right.
2020 Sports.
Today, right after Chris Mad Dog Russo's Saturday show, it's Mets-Cardinals baseball at 1:30, followed by NBA playoff action as the Minnesota Timberwolves host the San Antonio Spurs. All here on The Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN, New York.
Sports Radio 66.
Joe O'Dowd of Monroe, New York. He knew that this was the turning point of yesterday's Mets game in St. Louis.
Here's the 3-2 to Edmonds. Line shot down the right field line. That's an extra base hit, bounding into the corner. Polanco around third will score easily. Edmonds heading for second. Kerr has trouble taking it out, so Edmonds will turn for third. The throw by Alfonso across the diamond, not in time.
And that was a big play. I didn't know when it was. Early in the game. Somewhere, of course, with Edmonds' triple, with Perez out there in right field. Nice job out of Joe. Listen, if he gets himself a gift certificate from Modell's, we'll play it again tomorrow. It's from Fox Resort and Casino, and of course, Sports Radio 66 WFAN in New York. Here's Todd in New Windsor on the Fan. Todd, how you doing?
Doggy, how are you, guy? WFAN, WFAN, Box Office Blitz.
For the Mets and the Astros on Tuesday, quarter number 11. Right now, 1-800-821-6611. Tuesday at Shea with Houston. It's from Sports Radio 66 WFAN in New York. Here's Jamal in Manhattan. He's with us on Sports Radio 66. Hi, Jamal.
Hello, Christopher. How are you today,
How you doing, buddy? I know you're all upset about your Metsies, huh?
Well, you know, someone needs to smack me around because I'm an idiot. I listened to that spin doctor, Steve Phillips, in the offseason tell me how, you know, Traxler's going to...
He gave me a 3. So now I'm a 4. I've improved.
Well, let's try and see what happens here.
Imus in the morning. 2020 Sports.
All right, good morning, Don. Well, we just talked about point given. We're just 4 days away from the 127th running of the Kentucky Derby. Now, I know, Don, you've been touting Bob Baffert's point given as the winner, and with good cause. He is the odds-on favorite right now at 2-1. But I'm here to tell you that Balto Star is going to win the race. He won the Arkansas Derby in impressive fashion. He's going to win the Kentucky Derby. Take it from me.
Okay.
Nice. Not that I'm a horse racing aficionado, although I did win a triple once at Monticello Raceway, paid a whopping $14. And no appearances for me on Jody Mack at the track in the near future either. But I am picking Balto Star to win this race.
There you go.
The Twins moved their record to 18-6 after a 2-1 win over the Yankees last night. Doug Mankiewicz broke a 1-1 tie with a solo home run in the 7th, while Brad Radke pitched a complete game 6-hitter to pick up his league-leading 5th win. Andy Pettit was the hard luck loser for the Bombers, who lose in Minnesota last night. Now, just wanted to tell you guys that my cousin is actually the mayor of St. Paul, Minnesota. He lost the gubernatorial by 3 percentage points to that blowhard Jesse Ventura.
And if Ventura didn't go out that day and practically walk up to every 17-year-old kid on the street to get votes, my cousin would be the governor of Minnesota.
And we'd all be better off.
Well, we'd be much better off. Well, Ventura, what I see the guy do is go to Timberwolf games, or, he's acting on Young and the Restless, and once I even saw him do an XFL game, a half-ass job of that.
Yeah, maybe your cousin would have given you a job in his administration.
And given you a 4.
Maybe
you wouldn't have been here.
No. Maybe I should call him after the show. I still have time. Let's move on to the NBA playoffs.
What is your cousin's name?
Norm Coleman. Norm Coleman. He, a Brooklyn kid, actually.
Well, didn't Hubert Humphrey III also run in that?
And he came in third in his own state.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, the stadium is named after his father, and he still came in third place. What's more embarrassing than that?
So, like your cousin, you're not going to get the job either.
All right, well, go ahead. So far, this is
terrible.
I don't know. It's not terrible because you got the scores right.
Right.
So, and you've got good energy, and you're a nice kid. But
Absolutely.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
No steak.
The NBA playoffs. George doesn't like it either. The NBA.
No, he's not. George is a nice. He's not passing.
He's asleep.
Thanks. The playoffs. The San Antonio Spurs, champions in 1999. They're on their way to the Western Conference semifinals. This after a 97-84 win over the Minnesota Timberwolves. T-Wolves superstar Kevin Garnett spoke about the loss.
Once you have a hole in a balloon, it's very, very hard to patch it up. Trying to keep air in it, so to speak.
Good. I don't know. Sounds more like a Trojan commercial than a game explanation to me. Spurs await the winner of the Dallas-Utah series. They play Game 4 tonight in Dallas with the visiting Jazz up 2-1. The Bucks and Magic resume their recent conference series in Orlando. The Bucks are up there too. The visiting Bucks, 2-1. Now I'm Sid Rosenberg for Imus in the Morning Sports.
Oh, what do you think, Chuck?
Well, we had the Balthus Star reference, Point Gibbon, cousin, Minnesota.
The meaningless, tedious story.
I'm just trying to say the cousin story. We had the
nobody cares about
reference to kind of a condom joke.
Balloon joke,
yeah.
Dissing my brother.
Gee, I don't know. I would say, and a lot of energy. No mispronunciations or anything like that.
Carlin.
In front of George Carlin.
And Satan, by the way.
And Satan. I got to give the guy a 5. Got to give the guy a 5. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
What, you playing footsie with him there, Sid?
How about you, Lou?
I think I'm going to stay with a 4.
Oh, Lou.
Well, no, he was good.
Morning.
Good energy.
I'm going to give him a 5, considering the pressure.
That's the pressure problem.
Considering how low the standards are around here, I'd give him an 8.
Seem as if you need to be here, there, and everywhere at the same time. Now there's a check-in.
Yesterday we're on in Fresno, which is Fresno's, it's Bakersfield with indoor plumbing, but it's I like Fresno because it's the birth of Boss Radio, which I was a big fan of. Bill Drake and Ron Jacobs and Don Steele and Robert W. Morgan and those guys, and it's where they started essentially, and. Also on in Monterey, California, some of the more beautiful places on the planet, and in Tallahassee, Florida. So I've tried to discipline myself by getting the commercials on, rather than having the last 15 minutes of every hour being nothing but commercials. So now we have no commercials. I've already done them all.
Excellent.
We're talking with George Carlin, whose new book, Napalm and Silly Putty, has just been published by Hyperion. Brain Droppings, George's first book, was an enormous bestseller in both hardcover and in paperback. I remember it was on for months on the New York Times bestseller list. And what was sort of interesting, as George pointed out, is that in doing concerts, which he does about 100 a year, he would mention a book at concerts, and there would be a smattering of applause. But when you would think that everybody in the audience would buy the book, but obviously there's an audience of George Carlin fans who don't go to the concerts.
Who read. Who are able to read, who are literate.
Yes.
Apparently.
And are into language.
Yes.
And what you have some thoughts on?
Well, you know that there's the kind of things that you hear these days. Some of it comes from a kind of a combination of the self-help movement, New Age, and politically correct people. I heard when Matthew Perry, that actor on Friends, had a relapse and went back into rehabilitation recently. There was someone on a movie he was doing who, a couple of days later, they were interviewing people, and he said he was very surprised that Matthew Perry had relapsed because his sobriety coach was with him on the set the whole time. This is the kind of thing that I really can't embrace. A sobriety coach. Did you have a sponsor, or something like that? I think sponsors is the...
Oh, I had a sponsor in AA, yeah.
A sobriety coach. See, it's the way they twist it around. I have some of these jobs for people over 65. The boomers are especially hard on the language. For people over 65, there are certain jobs that are suitable for them. They're called elder-friendly. Elder-friendly employment. And these boomers who are so afraid of dying, so afraid of that their own image and likeness will disappear from the face of the earth, they don't call themselves old anymore. And if they're 50 or 60, they call themselves the near elderly. Isn't that embarrassing?
Yes, it is.
Be the near elderly. And issues, of course, is a word that has now... No one has problems anymore. Yeah. Everything is issues. No one has a drug problem. Chemical dependency issues. Yeah. I have issues with the garbage. There was that dog who killed someone in San Francisco.
I actually like that phrase, issue. I mean, when it's the word issues is used in these kinds of phrases. I know what you're saying, but...
all language has a purpose for existing. I mean,
maybe it's just the way it sounds.
In a narrow sense, they use it, but they get spread out. The dog who killed that person in San Francisco, again, several days later, they were interviewing someone in the neighborhood who said, well, everyone in the neighborhood knew that dog had issues with other male dogs.
That's idiotic.
Now, here's something you'll only hear in America. And I'm a big fan of landmines. I know there are people who are trying to get rid of them, but you can't. They put more of them in the ground than they take out every day. There are 100 million landmines in the world in 64 countries, and about 70 of them go off each day. 700 people a month are maimed or killed by landmines. 340 different types of landmines, I have my statistics here, manufactured by 100 different companies. 6,000 new ones are put in place every day, according to these statistics. 6,000 a day. They cost $3 to make and install. They cost $100 to disarm and remove, which I think is wonderful. I just love this. I think man has created for himself just a lovely place. And the reason I'm leading up to all this is because I heard Colin Powell say recently that he didn't think you could solve this problem soon, but one of the programs he had heard about that was helpful was a thing called Adopt a Minefield. Okay? Apparently there's something like Adopt a Highway where you give money or something to remove the landmines and they name it after you or something. It's just only in this strange place that we call home.
Are you appearing you're going to be bad at Westbury, at a Westbury Music Fair May 10th, which is about 9 days from now.
Right.
You doing anything between now and then or no?
On the book tour, I'm just doing, there's a single night at a casino with an incredibly high paycheck in Buhler, Wisconsin. Somewhere up far.
Those casinos, they're just...
Yeah, I know. What's nice about them is they're not casino audiences like Las Vegas. These casinos around the country attract kind of a local concert audience, people who would never otherwise see a concert much up there. It's just like having your own people in Jersey or Philadelphia or something, so it really works well.
We were talking earlier, I don't know you that well other than just appearing on the program, but Charles feels the same way. It's not like we're patronizing you. But for some reason, I'm very happy you're doing well.
Well, thank you.
Can't explain that.
I'm glad not to be some sort
You know, like most of the time you hope, like people, you're kind of pissed off that they get a movie or something. I don't feel that way about you.
Well,
or I don't feel that way about Rob. Like every time Rob gets a part in something, like a Law and Order, whatever, a Wendy's commercial, I'm always happy.
Yeah, but instead of reveling in somebody's agony, which
I generally do.
Well, on this show, to be anything other than a scum-sucking weasel or geek or of some kind is an accomplishment.
It is.
I just, the fact that I've escaped all of those things.
Good luck with this book. And
thank you very much. And thanks for, you always, you're responsible for the success of Brain Jobbing. As far as I'm concerned, you jumped on it first and foremost.
Anyway, thanks, George. WFAN in New York and Infinity Broadcasting Station, part of Viacom. It's time now for the local news. Are you ready? You don't look to me like you...
What's not to be ready? Of course I'm ready. I stay ready.
Well, all right.
Scum-sucking weasel, of course.
Here's Chuck with the news. Good morning, Charles.
Morning, I-Man. Locally, the first day of what could be many days on the picket line has begun for healthcare workers at 7 Connecticut nursing homes. Could expect...
Trash station.
Yeah, and got blown out because... I wasn't getting it done.
He was the weakest link.
Yes.
Goodbye.
So.
Cheerio.
That's it.
But we wanted to see if he's adequate, good, excellent, whatever. And he didn't have a chance to display that last week.
Right.
And we're trying to find out this morning.
Well, so far, he got an 8 from George Carlin because, as George we should have thought of this. It's another example of
There you
know
go.
why there's George Carlin and there's us. I mean,
exactly.
because the standards here are so low that's why I got the 8. But we're not cognizant of that, or at least we're not factoring that in our assessments of Sid. So Sid got essentially 4s from us.
4s and 5s.
4s and 5s last time around.
Well, he didn't get any 5 from me.
I know.
And you gave him a 5. I don't know why.
Based on the pressure. Stood up under the pressure.
He seems oblivious to pressure, like he doesn't seem like
maybe
he's that bright.
unconscious.
But by the way, 5 is not enough.
No, I understand that, but I mean it's generous, but he just doesn't seem like he's frankly.
It hasn't been a 5 appearance.
He doesn't seem that bright to me, frankly. I mean, he's a nice kid, but
a little slow out of the chute.
Seems he does. It seems a little slow out of the chute.
Right.
Yeah.
Like his parents dropped him when he was a kid or something.
Or something happened.
Yeah.
We're just not sure what. Well, I got a couple of things that are important here. Tim Russell's coming up, but this is important. It was a job opportunity. You'd think but I mean, it's very difficult to hire people. And so which I try to tell some various folks that you cannot get good folks to work for you, and when you do, you've got to hang on to them.
Yeah. Maybe Sid could listen to this.
Well, out at the Hackensack University Medical Center, this is a great job. They're looking for an assistant director for the Deirdre Imus Environmental Center for Pediatric Oncology. And what they're going to do is study these various elements of the environment that are giving people cancer. My wife made the observation, and she thought it was odd that you have children in hospital rooms and then you're cleaning the rooms with toxic cleaning agents and feeding them food loaded with carcinogens. And she's not a scientist, but it didn't make any sense to her. And when you get to thinking about it, it doesn't make any sense. And one of the first things that they often do when you do get cancer is to take you off of all of these meat and all that dairy products, all that stuff. And you remember the woman we talked to who found it direct?
As the head of the family is visited by ghosts of episodes past.
Look, this is old news. Why are you even bringing this up? These people stole your leg. You had to retaliate. So don't let Time Magazine or anybody else give you any about it. Hey, at least you went over there and weren't some faggot who laid low in England while it was all going down. Well, you know what I'm saying.
Past betrayals come back to haunt him.
I think I'm going crazy. My kid gave me a toy cannon for Christmas, and all I can see is Vince's face on it.
Then art imitates life as the boss unwinds by watching a movie on HBO.
It's a tender love story about two people during a very special time. It's called 69, and it ain't about baseball, but there were a few balls involved.
Then later, he has to deal with the problems of another errant youth.
Didn't I tell you to keep your nose clean? You had, 3, 4 chances already, and you still f*** it up? What are you thinking about? You're not some punk-ass kid off the street. You're Uncle Robert Downey Jr.
An old family friend comes to him for advice.
Look, Jesse, I don't know what the deal is with you Moulignons, but if you just got a blow, you wouldn't have knocked up the hoe. Don't let her take you to court. Just pay the child support. You boned somebody. Now you got to pay her money.
While another acquaintance feels his gumata might prevent his moving up.
You dropped out of the race because you didn't think you could be governor and screw around on your wife? What are you, nuts? I thought you were the f***ing Terminator. That's gay, man.
The Dopranos, only on Imus in the morning.
I mean, that's Dr. Dre gay.
Thinking of giving gifts, of singing carols.
Don't sing anything.
No. Of ringing silver bells.
Oh, no.
And that reminds me of a song.
Oh, God.
Silver bells.
Don't do this.
Silver bells. It's Christmas time for the I-Man. Ring-a-ling. Hear them sing. Hope this will be his last one.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
You're now live from Atlanta to Steak Chappelle. Good morning, Steak.
For crying out loud, you really got to get over yourself, I-Man.
What's the matter? The wheels are about to come off this country. If we don't, if we don't get this thing straightened out, you better wake up.
Who says you don't know how to rip it up anymore, I-Man? Sitting around 12 hours a day, drinking apple juice, watching Florida statutes get argued. Yeah, that's why I called Charles every 2 minutes. Hey, Charles, did you see that?
The
Star Super PAC is #1 in new hit movies with up to 12 different movie channels.
Comments when he showed up at those remotes we did down there with that fat, pig, smelly, lap dancing bimbo he tried to pass off as a sales rep at his stupid radio station. And even worse than that is Salsa, Andrew Saltzman, whose father Herb, you know, one of radio's pioneers, who, by the way, put up the money for these two pathetic losers to rent a radio signal there in Atlanta, tried to tell Chernoff yesterday that they couldn't get through on the phone to tell me about this.
Oh, man.
Andrew, of course, is another fat loser. His wife also is a fat lap-dancing pig-boat. But we, of course, knew that. However, Herb, his father, ought to be ashamed of himself just for having a fat pig loser son like this. Francesca and Bernie, Lou, Fred, Chuck, everybody begged me not to put this embarrassing puke on the air. But what did I do?
Yeah.
I remained loyal to Steak and his fat, blubber-butted, ass-kissing daddy's boy partner, Andrew. Now, here's my position. If it's not working out in Atlanta, it's fine. We add stations all the time. We lose some.
Certainly, it's a way.
If it's not working out, say you know, the show sucks. It's not happening. We're not going to renew you. So I said, okay, fine, that's fine. But they didn't do that.
No.
They let me read about it in the newspaper. And then these two punks. I mean, this is beyond cowardly. I mean, I knew they were small market little gnats, but I mean, this is you know, on a loser radio station in Atlanta, by the way, a loser, white trash, hideous radio station. They can't afford the program. That's #1, and it wasn't working for them. We'll just say that it's not working for us. Well, that's fine. It's life. We'll just go on another station in Atlanta or wherever. It's not a big deal. But don't do it like this after we've made you famous. I mean, it's Steak.
Yeah. These two snotty trust fund kids.
I mean, there's just no bigger. I mean, I've been around a while. No bigger, no talent any place. I mean, occasionally he could be funny on it with a telephone call, but that was it. He's not going to. I mean, I heard him on the radio. He's awful. But plus, he's a coward. I mean, that's clearly a gutless little punk. God almighty. I mean, unbelievable. Just call me and say it's not working out. Then they claim they tried to cut some cheesy deal with Westwood. Well, we know that they're lying about it. I mean, it's just...
Be a man.
Be a man about it. That's all.
Of course.
It's just pathetic.
This guy's got the radio station as a bar mitzvah gift.
I mean, that's exactly what happened. I mean, they don't own the radio station. They rent this signal, and Herb put up the... I mean, it's the whole story is pathetic.
Lahayim.
It's unbelievable.
What does he think is going to happen?
Do well, my boys.
And you heard Steak in here. Francesca was right. I should listen to him. Fred, Chuck, Bernie, everybody was right. But no, I know, you know me.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Sticking, Mr. Loyal.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I'm not even mad about it. The reason I'm not mad about it is because you knew this would happen. I mean, because you can just see that they're those type of guys. They're just
backstabbing radio.
Yeah, they're just little punks.
Just a matter of time. Not matter if, but just when.
When they write the history of radio, where do you think their two names will be? Well, it won't even be included.
Top 10.
I mean, it's just not going to be included.
They'll be delivering the manuscript.
You know.
Let me look at the index here. Steak.
I mean, it's pathetic.
Right below Saltzman.
No, I don't see that either.
Oh, my God.
What do they think is going to happen when you find out? I mean, geez.
What are they? Idiots?
No, I mean, just...
Cha-cha in the morning.
Oh, my God. Well...
Yeah, he'll be fine, Cha-Cha, reading about it in the paper. He'll be fine with that, Cha-Cha.
Oh, my God. I mean, just so cowardly that... I mean, that's the thing. And that fat pig girlfriend of his actually smells. Did you know that? Did you notice that?
Well, I don't want to go into it. I don't want to remember.
Oh, my God. And that hideous wife he had, you could crack open a payphone coin box with her. That hatchet face of hers. Oh, God. And Andrew Saltzman with that pig boat he's married. Oh, I mean, just awful. Hideous people.
Excuse me, dear. Would you come over here and slice the turkey with your face?
Two of the most unattractive, hideous, no-talent schmucks on the planet.
Oh, my lordy.
Oh, my God. I mean, just... But, I mean, it's not a big deal, you know. Unbelievable. 24, almost 25 after the hour.
What are you going to do?
What else going on, John?
Let's see. Quick headlines, I-Man. Top congressional Republicans giving the president most of the tax cut he wants, tentatively agreeing to this $1.35 trillion cut over an 11-year period.
Mr. Sheen, with Chief Technician Walter Cronkite, examining today the Kerry
conundrum.
Return with me now to May Day, May the 1st, 2001. A Tuesday, filled with quaint observations and ritual the world over. Italy, where the people of Rome honor the goddess of flowers in springtime. Switzerland, where a May pine tree is often placed beneath a girl's window. Germany, where boys secretly plant May blossoms in front of the windows of their sweethearts. Czechoslovakia, where similarly boys at night place May poles beneath the windows of their intended. And the United States, where on May Day, certain television news organizations try to shove May poles up the back ends of fabled heroes of America's wars. Yes, it was May Day 2001, a day that will live in broadcast infamy, when this grizzled old chronicler of outrage and indignation began to regret every day of his storied career that he spent at CBS, that celebrated broadcast emporium where giants once walked. Paley, Stanton, Murrow, Friendly, but where midgets mince today. For this morning, Media Watch exposes a war criminal. Bob Kerrey, the man who left Vietnam on a crutch and a prayer, vilified by CBS and the New York Times this week? No, indeed. The war criminal I'm identifying is Andrew Hayward, president of CBS News, who, with his New York Times and 60 Minutes 2 henchmen, Don Hewitt, Dan Rather, and the rest, have launched a guerrilla operation against former Senator Bob Kerrey, all doing their damnedest to round up and massacre his integrity, veracity, and honor. Perhaps you saw the defaming telecast, 60 Minutes 2. Mr. Hayward, pinning Senator Kerrey to the floor, as correspondent Rather endeavored to slit his throat in that primetime invasion of the reputation snatchers. Remarkable, I felt, that correspondent Rather was able to take time out from his Democratic Party fundraising activities long enough to conduct the Kerry butcher job. But why revisit that unpleasantness? Well, how about for the same reasons that CBS and the Times choose to revisit, demean, and denigrate the combat sacrifices of a young Lieutenant J.G. Bob Kerrey? Apparently for no more motivation other than because we can. It strikes me that perhaps when Dan was over there all those years ago covering the Vietnam conflict, that maybe he should have just stayed on, taken the Ho Chi Minh Trail north, and formally cemented his ties with the Hanoi Jane crowd, as it is clear that he and CBS News are still judging our involvement in Vietnam, giggling to themselves as they hoist on their pikes the one-legged carcass of Bob Kerrey. Yes, indeed, a human rights abuse has been perpetrated against innocents in the Kerry affair. However, it doesn't involve villagers in Southeast Asia, but rather a kid from the Cornhusker State in the center of America. Sad. A man of unquestioned reputation and principle under assault by basically a scalp fungus. Dan, what in the hell have you done to your hair? Courage, a word you once used, Dan, as a bizarre evening news sign-off, is a rare commodity in war, in politics, in broadcasting. This case involves all three. Do the right thing. Bring back Connie Chung. A pity that the latest reality show is an entry from NBC, because clearly, Mr. Rather, you are the weakest link. Pathetic. For Media Watch, this is Walter Cronkite. Thank you and good night.
A long, long time ago, I can still...